Hello?
Hello?
Okay, welcome everyone. This is the first official UPSB podcast. I'm xshadowfire, one of your hosts, and there's also Sfsr, who should introduce
Hello, everyone.
himself.
Hello, this is Sfsr. Okay, hello, this is Sfsr. Welcome to the podcast. With us today is also Cam. Cam, can you say hello?
Hello everyone, this is Cam from Pentrix.
We're going to ask you some questions. I don't know, xshadowfire, do you want to start with some?
Sure. Alright, so, Cam, what did Santa bring you for Christmas?
Christmas, huh? That was a while ago. Let me think. Well, for starters, I got an MX2 or MX squared from Tekken King. So thanks for that, Tekken, if you're listening. I also got some a camcorder charger and a new battery for my camcorder because I lost my old one and I haven't been able to record any videos since then. I also got some money, which I'm still thinking on what to spend on, but that's about it for Christmas.
Alright, so, like, a little bit about you. When exactly did you start spinning?
Exactly, like, up to the minute, I don't know that. I started in, well, technically I started in 1993 when I was 13 years old, but that was only like doing basically one trick for a while. That was like when I was in Taiwan, and I learned the charge by watching someone else doing in class. But that was the only trick I knew for about 2 years. I consider myself really started into pen spinning was out in about 1998. That's when I started getting more serious, and I know, like, I started doing combos and trying to come up with new tricks. So a total time of spinning would be 15 years, but more seriously I would say 10 years.
So why did you start?
Why did I start? Why does anyone start? I guess because it looked cool when somebody else was doing, and obviously it seemed like a better idea than to pay attention to class. But yeah, like, I started because it was cool, but then the more I spun, the more I realized like how much pen spinning was helping me, you know, be more confident, build like my hand-eye coordination, that sort of thing. So I just kept doing it, even though I got busier and busier. It still seemed like a good thing to do.
Cam, do you think you affect a lot of people around you through your pen spinning? Like you said that you started because you saw someone and thought it was cool. You think a lot of people see you just in real life and think it's cool and start spinning?
I'm sure there are people who did. I'm not always aware of all the people who start pen spinning because of me, but I, like, on the forums, I think I affected more people through my websites than like through Pentrix, and then also UPSB, than I do in real life, because right now, you know, I've already finished college, so like in middle school there are a lot more people who are actually like paying attention to your pen spin, but once you get to high school or college, like, people are more serious into the class, and they're not as open to come and asking you, oh, how do you do that trick or why not. So I would say it's more I have a better effect on people through my websites. In fact, I think that I'm sorry.
No, keep going.
In fact, I think I think there was like an email that I received one time, which is like a really interesting story. There was this guy, I'm not gonna say the name or anything, but he said that that my website helped save his life, which I found it really funny at first. But then the more he explained, it's like his story is that when he broke up with his girlfriend and he was really depressed. So I think he tried to commit suicide or something. And while in the hospital, he saw his doctor spinning pen. So he went online and found pen tricks, and then he spent all his time spinning pens and forgot about his girlfriend. So I thought that was like an interesting story, how pen spinning affected the lives of some people very differently. Because I never would have thought that pen spinning could actually help save a life.
Okay, I have another question. Do you actually still spin pens like casually, wherever you are at work and all?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I bring a pen to work every day. I can't spin all the time because I'm a programmer, so I need two hands to type until I learn how to type with one. But whenever I'm doing research or I'm taking a break, I try to spin my pen at work, and all my coworkers know that I spin pens and I have a website, so they're pretty cool with it as long as I get my work done. I also spin, when I'm watching TV or whenever I can, because nowadays you don't have that much free time. You gotta spin whenever you can.
Okay, and how much time do you think you spent on pen spinning as you were most active? How many hours a day did you practice?
Well, when I was younger, when I was just starting, I could spend like a whole afternoon, like 4 or 5 hours spinning until my hand would get tired. But nowadays, I'd say I'm lucky if I can spend like 30 minutes a day just for spinning. Casually though, I probably spend an hour a day like spinning without thinking, not working or watching TV or eating sometimes. So maybe like an hour of non-serious spinning, and I try to get to squeezing like a half an hour before I go to sleep of serious spinning.
Okay, have you been working on any new pen spinning tricks and all?
I knew you guys would ask me that question. Yes, I'm always trying to to create new tricks or combos. And I usually don't like to release them before I know that they're gonna be good, because then
they're more respected, more accepted.
Yeah, like I tend to, like, unlike most people, I tend to take pen spinning a lot more seriously. So I like to make sure that whatever I'm trying to release is not just gonna be another trick that's gonna be forgotten, but like actually have some difference in pen spinning. And I think just by holding off on a trick a little longer, you can accomplish that, because you have more time to see what the flaws of the trick could be, and you don't get just excited about something new that you think it's gonna be really cool, but then nobody else agrees. But I actually do have a trick that I only showed one person so far, and got a really good response. But I'm still trying to, to perfect it, and I'm calling it the whip for right now. And it's a actually very simple trick. It's a combo, actually, only two tricks, two fundamentals, to be more detailed. And it's the way that you do those is like everybody knows those tricks, but the way that you do it makes it look so much different than anything else that I've seen.
Can you hang on?
So that's kind of like what I'm trying to do, is show people that it's not just a matter of coming up with the the longest sequence of tricks and put it into a freestyle or into a combo, but you can also, like, okay, yeah, what was that? Sure, no
No,
problem.
I think everything disappeared for everyone for a while, but it's back now, so you can keep talking.
Okay, so we're good now?
Yeah, I think so. Did anything disappear for anyone? Okay, we're good to go. Keep talking.
Okay, so you were asking me about, any new tricks, and I mentioned that I'm working on a trick or a combo called the the combo name is unofficially called the whip, because it kind of has like a whipping type of resemblance to the movement, but it's basically two very fundamental tricks, and I just apply a different way of performing them that looks very different from most tricks. So my point in doing such a combo is that I'm trying to show people that even with very simple tricks, you can still create something new, just by using some creativity and trying to break out of the conventional method of spinning. And that is not just, trying to link more tricks into the shortest possible amount of time that's gonna make you a good pen spinner. And maybe that's just my, my style of spinning, but we'll see. When I release that, when I get that down, I'll release a short video or something, and we'll see how people react to it.
Oh, cool. Video. That's just what Blackmail asks about. Blackmail from the FBSB. He wants to know if you are releasing any new videos lately. If you are going to release any videos in the near future. Also, if you will appear in any other pen spinning videos soon or not.
Okay. Well, I would like to. It's certainly something that I want to do. Is like release another video with hopefully with good material, and I haven't really been able to get caught up on all the new tricks and whatnot, but I certainly think that I have some new tricks or concepts that would be helpful to pen spinners all over the world, and I like to release a video, but it's not at the top of my list of priorities, basically because there are so many people who are making videos, and I think we're helping spread pen spinning to new people, and it would be nice if I could have time to release a new video, but since there are so many videos out there, it's not at the top of my priority right now.
Okay, xshadowfire again. Do you have any pen spinning or manipulation related projects going on?
The answer to that, the simple answer would be yes. Unfortunately, a lot of them, the more I work on pen spinning and other projects, the bigger they become, and then the more confidential and secretive they are too. So I can't tell you too much about them. There are a couple big ones that I can't even say anything about it until I have the proper permission. So I'm gonna skip those, but I'm just gonna say that they are likely to have a big impact on pen spinning, and I'm doing my best to make sure that that is gonna be a good impact as opposed to a bad one. Obviously, I can't control everything, so we'll see about those. One project that I'd like to mention and maybe give a quick description is what we were mentioning on the California gathering, and it's a somewhat secret project. It's not completely finalized yet, so I'm just mentioning what it is about, but not give all the details yet. And basically what it is a card game for pen spinning. What we have is basically we assign like tricks or a family of tricks to a deck of cards, and then we use those cards to play different games that involve pen spinning. Like, for example, I'm working on something similar to poker, where you draw a hand of 5 cards, for example, and then people would see those cards. Each card is gonna be equivalent to a trick or a family of tricks, and then the person has to do a combo based on that. So I think like Follard mentioned, it's similar to like a tag game, but it's kind of randomized because you don't know what the next card you're gonna pull. And you know, we tried that in the gathering. It was it was a lot of fun. We basically had like two teams of people competing with each other, like all passing the project. And there are some, it wasn't perfect since I just started this project and don't have many pen spinners around me to test. But we're working on on finalizing the rules and the point system. So we'll get that released to you guys sometime in the future.
Okay, thanks, Cam. We also have a lot of questions from the people in the chat about the MX. Spin of Doom wants to know if anything can be done to make the MXs more durable. Tony wants to know, how do you think of creating the MX? Let's see, the MX.
Okay. Well, I think a lot of people, unfortunately, are making the MX incorrectly, or a little incorrect, I would say. I never officially released an MX tutorial, so I don't blame anybody for that. But the reason that the MX breaks so easily is that people tend to align the cap of the pen to the little back cap, which is the little part where you unscrew to get the ink out. And when you do that, what happens is that if you drop your pen on a solid surface like concrete or something, it tends to snap very easily. The way to fix that is just to make sure to push the cap in a little bit more, like a couple millimeters, or just a little bit more past that alignment, so that the cap is actually overlapping a little bit with the clear body of the pen. That way, when you drop your MX, and I know this because I've tested it with over 50 times on an MX that I made, and you drop that into solid concrete, and it won't break anymore, or at least it won't break as easily. So that's how you can fix, make it more durable. I think that's what he was referring to. As far as, let's see, history, the MX is kind of, most people think that the MX was made before Momentum, the Momentum MX, which is another mod that I had a prototype for. But actually, what happens is that I first came up with the RSVP V1, right, which is actually, hold on, that's not true. I first came up with RSVP V2, but then I wanted something very simple, something very easy to make without much cost, so I came up with a V1, and then I just named those like V1 and V2. And the MX actually came as the last pen that I made of the MX series, which was after the Momentum MX. What I did was I wanted to make the Momentum first to get a very good pen for spinning, but it was so much work to get the plastic barrel from the Pilot that I decided to go back a step and make a more affordable pen. That's when I came up with the RSVP MX. Does that answer most MX questions, or was there something else?
I think that's good. We've also been hearing a bit about one of your secret mods, the Irisquito. How's it going with that?
The Iris, I think I always pronounce it Irisquito, but whatever. That project is kind of being dropped. I'm not gonna pursue it any further, mainly because I don't think there is a solution to fix one of the flaws that the pen was all about. And right now, I think we've seen so many different mods that are probably better than the Iris Digital right now. It was a big deal at the time that we came up with it. For example, like when we came up, by me and Nate were working on this project. There weren't that many different mods, so that was supposedly to be a very good, step ahead of everyone else. But with so many different mods right now, I don't think that the Iris Digital is gonna make a big difference on the pen spinning community. And since it's so much so vulnerable the way it is right now, we're just dropping the project. I don't think it's worth continuing it.
Okay, how about your pen collection? How many pens do you have? How big is your collection?
Your guys are gonna have to come to my house and count them, because I have no idea. I probably have like about two boxes full of pens, like shoe boxes, that size boxes. So I don't know, a few hundred or thousands. I have no idea. Never really bothered to count.
What pens do you have in your collection then? Is it any modern or new mods, or is it mostly just like the MX and the Jello pen mods and all?
Well, most of my pens, I just like a lot of the pens that I have is just like how do you say, stock pens, like what you will buy off of a store, and I just collect them for research purposes. Obviously I have a lot of RSVPs and hybrid gel grips laying around, and I try to collect pens from the different manufacturers, from Pentel, Pilot, Bic, Zebra, and so on. But they're all like mostly unmodified, just for archival purposes. I do have some mods, but there are not that many. Like mostly I have some consoles that people gave me, different prototypes of MXs or other pens that I've tried to make, but they never were good enough to be released. And just a lot of pens that people give me over the time.
Alright, so Cam, where are you from?
That sounds like a simple question, but it's not that easy. Well, I'm from all kinds of places. I actually I was born in Paraguay, in South America, and most people would not imagine that. But I didn't really actually live there for too long. I went to Brazil, which is where I grew up, for most of my life. I went there when I was 1 year old, and I lived there for about half of my life there. I also then moved to Taiwan to study for a few years. That's where I learned my first pen spinning trick. Then I moved back to Brazil, where I started to develop some of my tricks, and finally I moved to US, which is where I am right now.
Nice. Can you speak Portuguese?
Yeah, sure. If anybody is listening from Brazil, e aí galera, tudo bem? Espero que vocês estejam ouvindo. Eu sou o Cam do Pentrix. Só falando oi aí. Probably most people are like, what the heck is he talking about? But yeah, I can speak a few different languages. I can speak some Mandarin, Taiwanese, and I can somewhat read Korean, but I can't make any sense of it.
We have some other questions here from people in the chat. Do you keep in touch with Nate? Anything? It's a question from Sketching.
Is he referring to Nate? There are a few Nates, I think. Nate that helped develop a lot of like pen mods.
Yeah, that's Nate we're talking about.
No, I actually haven't heard. I used to just talk to him on UPSB, and since he's from the pen spinning community, I haven't really heard from him. He certainly, helped me with a lot of good ideas for pen modding and whatnot. But I think he might be more active in the yo-yoing community, which is where he comes from. So maybe one of these days I'll check, see if he's still around.
Here's another question from the chat, from CarolEck1325. What are your favorite tricks?
Favorite tricks, huh? That's a good question. Probably too hard to answer. Well, one of my favorites is obviously the back around. I think I've mentioned that several times. I like it because it's so different than like everything else that came before it. And I'm not talking about the, I guess what you guys call nowadays Korean style background. I'm talking about the one that David Weiss does, where he uses he has the pen closer to the palm, and it's just so smooth that I always use it whenever I can. That's one of my favorite tricks. I also like, I guess I like a lot of like the fingerless tricks, mainly because it just seems so effortless and is like unconventional. I also like infinity release, our aerial tricks, anything that's kind of like unique and distinguishable. You could probably, there are probably a lot more tricks that I know that I like, but it's too hard to come up with a list right now.
Okay. Have you ever mentored anyone in piercing in real life? And it's a question from Escapist in the IRC chat.
Yeah, I think so. I did help with someone. His name is Steven. He lives in San Diego for a while. I don't know where he is right now. He hasn't really kept in touch, but in gatherings sometimes, on the first gathering, I think there are some people who were asking about tricks, and I don't know if it was just me mentoring. It was probably like a collective effort. But I've also done it more like in my earlier years. A lot of people who wanted to learn the fundamentals and whatnot, I did help them on a one-by-one basis. But nowadays it's just I don't have that kind of time to do it anymore.
Alright, most of us should know that you made the original UPSB, but what do you think of the new UPSB v3?
Well, I think everyone likes it, and I'm the same. Unfortunately, I wasn't as involved as the original UPSB, where I pretty much built it by myself. But the new UPSB has some really cool features, like we wouldn't be doing this podcast if we didn't have the UPSB radio. The original UPSBs also didn't have like a chat feature, so it's a lot more community geared towards the community, and with a lot of new features, which I think everybody loves it. I'm the same. Unfortunately, I can't just spend my entire day on the UPSB like I used to do. So I don't know all the different, like I can't read all the topics and whatnot, but I see like there are some really interesting forums, like with the research department and whatnot, that I really like where this is going. So I gotta give a thank you to Zombo and all the UPSB and UCPSB staff that helped us